Good Wednesday morning, everyone. Welcome back to Weather with Sim again. I hope you guys are all having a great day so far. And in today's weather forecast, we are going to be going over the tropics, which we still do have the potential for a weak hurricane, so we will continue to be keeping an eye on that. And then we also will be going over some snow that we can expect there to be these next few days, which we do have some pretty huge impacts likely. So we will be talking about that too as well. And then we'll also be going over some pattern changes that we can expect later this month. So we definitely will need to be keeping an eye on those two as well. But if you are new here to the YouTube channel, or if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to go down below and click that subscribe button. I really do appreciate you guys getting me closer there to 600 subscribers. But like I said, if you guys haven't subscribed already, make sure to go down below and click that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to leave a thumbs up too as well. Those help out more than you know. And also feel free to leave any questions, comments, or concerns down below, and you can even leave anything else down below as long as it's respectful. But let's first go ahead and take a look at the tropics. And like I said, we are watching this area right here just to the east there of the Caribbean for the potential of development, and it will continue to head west towards the Caribbean as it still does have a decent chance of development. We aren't super concerned about this one over here near Central America because this will likely head north and then turn right back in there, which doesn't give it a whole lot of time to develop, but we will still be keeping an eye on it just in case. And we're mainly focusing on this one right now as this does look to be impacting land, and this one also has still a ways to go before it impacts the Caribbean, which will give us some chance of maybe developing closer to a weak hurricane. Let's now go ahead and take a look at those sea surface temperatures, and as you guys can see, as of right now, we got some super warm sea surface temperatures, and right where the system is, which is about right there, is already over well above average temperatures, which could mean it might even already be strengthening right now. Probably not strengthening very quick because it is interacting with a little bit of dry air, but as it does continue to head towards the Caribbean, it will likely start to get into those warmer waters. So even if it is interacting with a little bit of dry air, this will still have some pretty good potential of developing at least to a tropical depression or tropical storm. So we definitely will need to be watching you guys in the Caribbean closely, as the system could definitely at least be on the stronger side of things as it does make its way towards you guys, so make sure to be on high alert if you are in the Caribbean. Let's now go ahead and take a look at what we can expect for the track of the system, and most models do show it heading right towards the Caribbean. Some of them are showing that it will die down before it makes its way towards the Caribbean, because like I said, it is interacting with a little bit of dry air, which will slow the intensification down. But some models do really show that it will more than likely head towards the Caribbean and still continue as either a tropical depression or tropical storm. So we still need to be watching you guys in the Caribbean closely, even though not all models show that. Let's now go ahead and look at the intensity model guidance, and as you guys can see, like I said, this will at least be a high in tropical depression to low in tropical storm, as it does continue to head its way towards the Caribbean, and that's what most models are showing as of right now. Some of them are showing a weak Category 1 hurricane, and even one does show a brief Category 2 hurricane, which, this one's probably an outlier, but we will still be keeping an eye on it just in case it does do something a little bit unexpected. So worst case is that we may reach Category 1 hurricane, but I don't even think it's going to be that strong given the fact that it is going to be interacting with some dry air around, and it's also going to be impacting land pretty soon. So like I said, definitely not going to get as strong, but we will still be keeping an eye on it just in case. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the watches, warnings, and advisories display, and as you guys can see, we do have a lot of freeze warnings in effect for places like the Midwest, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, heading down there into the Appalachian Mountains mountains and even parts there of Dixie Alley under some freeze warnings and even some frost advisories currently. So if you are under a freeze warning or if you are under a frost advisory, make sure to protect any sensitive vegetation that you have out there, because if they are not covered, they will more than likely die, and we will more than likely have another night or two of freezing conditions across much of the eastern United States. So make sure you are protecting sensitive vegetation once again for tonight, as you know, we will likely see another round of freeze conditions there. We also do have some fire weather warnings in effect for parts there of Florida, into southern Alabama, into southern Louisiana, also for parts there of South Dakota, northern Nebraska, parts there of eastern Wyoming, heading into parts there of Minnesota and North Dakota. And then finally, out here to the west, we also got some other fire weather warnings in effect, but it's especially these winter storm warnings that are in effect right now that we are most concerned about, especially, you know, for areas in Montana touching the extreme northwestern part of Wyoming. You guys are under some winter storm warnings currently, so make sure to, you know, be prepared if you're going to be doing any extreme traveling. And we do have some pretty big impacts to talk about after we do look at the snowfall in just a second. But we also do have some other winter storm watches and warnings currently in effect for areas just to the west, no, not to the west, but just to the east there of Salt Lake City, heading from Kings Peak all the way down towards St. George, Utah for the higher elevations. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the fire weather outlooks for both today and tomorrow. Starting off with today, we do have a critical fire weather risk for today across parts of the Central Plains. So burning is currently not recommended if you are under either an elevated risk or even, you know, a critical fire weather risk. And those even, you know, extend down there towards parts there of southern Louisiana, back into southern Mississippi, and even extreme southeastern Texas. So we definitely will need to be watching those areas closely. And like I said, whether you're under a critical risk or an elevated fire risk, you need to make sure you're not burning out there, as we do have that chance of rapid fire spreading. And same goes for parts there of eastern Nevada and western Utah, and that will continue as we head into tomorrow, with still a critical risk there across parts there of southeastern South Dakota, into parts there of eastern Nebraska, and even parts there of northern Kansas. So we will need to be watching those areas extremely closely. Let's now go ahead and look at the total snowfall, and as you guys can see, most areas are expected to see quite a bit of snowfall, especially in the higher elevations, where we will have that potential for 1 foot to 2 feet of snowfall in the higher elevations. Same goes for Wyoming. We could definitely see quite a bit of snowfall there too as well, especially across parts there of central Wyoming. And then we also are going to be seeing quite a bit of snowfall too as well for the higher elevations there in Colorado. But overall, if you combine both three of those states together, Wyoming, Utah, and Colorado, you get an average snowfall of about 1 foot to 2 feet of snowfall for at least the higher elevations. The lower elevations could see anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of snowfall, as you know, it will continue to be above average for the lower elevations, but we will still continue to keep an eye on it just in case. Let's now go ahead and look at the winter travel impacts, and as you guys can see, we do have some minor impacts across parts there of the Kings Peak area, and even some moderate impacts mixed in with those. So if you guys do live across, you know, the Kings Peak area, or even anywhere, you know, down those higher elevations in Utah, you need to make sure you are getting prepared for some travel impacts, as we could be seeing some huge snowfall these next few days, with a potential of 1 to 2 feet of snow, like I said. So if you are under a moderate, you know, you need to make sure you are doing that. And same goes for these minor areas. We do have some minor conditions in effect for parts of central Wyoming, southern parts there of Montana, and even parts there of Colorado, especially in the highest elevation there, where we still could be seeing the potential for some pretty big impacts too as well. And like I said, those areas under moderate and minor impacts will have the potential there for 1 to 2 feet of snow, so make sure you are preparing for that. Let's now go ahead and take a look there at what we can expect for the temperatures as we continue to head into the future. And as you guys can see, we are expecting well below average temperatures to continue across the eastern United States. And like I said, we will have another night or two of freeze conditions across this area. So make sure you are protecting sensitive vegetation once again if you are under a freeze alert. But also, we are dealing with some above average temperatures still across parts there of the west. But look what happens as we head into October 23rd. We start to see more of the United States see above average temperatures. However, this warm air is really trying to push that cold air out, and as both temperatures are colliding with each other, boom, we start to see the potential for maybe a storm system or two developing due to that. And if you guys are wondering why we see a lot of storm systems whenever we see both those temperatures colliding, it's because both warm and cold air colliding with each other does create energy, and energy is what helps create storms. So that's why we are going to be watching for a potential storm system developing as we head into October 24th, and that chance of a storm system developing will continue as we head into the end of October, where we will have another round of both cold air and warm air colliding with each other. And this is actually more how we usually see it, where we see warm air from the Gulf of Mexico surge into the plains with cold air behind it starting to collide with each other, and we could see a much bigger storm system develop due to that as we do head into the very end of October. So that's something to watch for. Like I said, not a guarantee, and it is really far out, so obviously continue to take this with a grain of salt. But I wanted to point this out because we are still on the side of things where we could be seeing some huge changes layers this month, with the potential of severe weather and the potential of heavy snowfall. And I do want you guys to be aware about that as we continue to head closer to winter. But thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy today's weather forecast. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to go down below and click that subscribe button. If you guys could please get me up there to 600 subscribers before fall, that would be great. And I meant to say before the weekend, but if you guys will at least continue subscribing, that would be great. And also don't forget to leave likes, and also make sure to leave a comment down below too as well. And like I said, it can be anything as long as it's respectful. And I hope you guys all have a great Wednesday out there.